Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over the Chapter 2 Season 2 weapon meta specifically for console/controller players. If you were to ask a mouse and keyboard player and then a controller player to order a certain selection of weapons from best to worst, odds are there'd probably be some pretty major differences in those two lists. Also, the combination of variety and balance with the weapons available in the game right now is really at an all-time high. Especially during the first 2 to 3 days of the season, I was kinda lost when it came to certain weapon choices. There are a bunch of new weapons added, as well as some damage adjustments to weapons that were already in the game, and I have a feeling some of you guys have probably been just as confused as I was. So I decided to sit down, really take a look at all the in-depth weapon statistics I could find, and then I basically compiled a list where I ranked the weapons in each category from best to worst, and now I'm going to share all that info with you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to start this video off with by far the most packed weapon category in the game right now, the assault rifles. So starting off with the bottom of the list, and I don't think I need to say too much about this, we have all three rarities of the FAMAS. It's very low DPS, a lot of bloom, and since it's a burst weapon, it's very bad for spraying enemy structures. I would take literally any other AR in the game over even the blue rarity FAMAS. But after the FAMASs, this is where things get really interesting, because this second tier of ARs that we're about to get into are all so close to even. So the three ARs that are clearly better than the FAMAS, but are a step below the top ARs, are the heavy ARs, the regular ARs, and the silent scars. And before we account for rarity, and keep in mind that's definitely a really big factor, I would generally rank them like this from best to worst. Regular ARs, heavy ARs, and then silent scars. That may sound a little bit odd because it used to be pretty much the opposite of that when all of these weapons were in the game a few months ago, but certain things have changed. With the silent scars, a lot of you guys may not even be aware that they were really heavily nerfed when they got reintroduced to the game at the beginning of the new season. Just to kind of put it into perspective, the blue silent scar has literally the exact same damage numbers as the white AR, purple has slightly better than the green AR but significantly lower than the blue AR, and gold has the exact same damage numbers as the blue AR. That should kind of showcase how much the nerf really hurt those weapons, because in the past they blew the regular AR damage stats out of the water. However, even though the damage numbers aren't terrible, the biggest problem with the silent scars are their insane amount of bloom. Like I mentioned in my How to Abuse Aim Assist video, if you shoot more than 2 to 3 shots fully auto in a row, the bloom becomes so large that there's no chance you hit an enemy at anything more than point blank range. The heavy AR is similar to the silent scar in terms of bloom. Basically, you need to treat it as a single shot weapon outside of close range. But the difference here is the heavy AR has a considerably higher damage per shot. Even the white heavy AR does the same 33 base damage as the gold silent scar, and if you can get up to gold or mythic rarity, that number increases to 41 for gold and a whopping 44 for mythic. However, the higher rarity versions of the heavy AR are incredibly rare, so even though they may be much better than any of the regular ARs, you're almost never gonna find them in-game. And speaking of the regular ARs, the reason why I have them as the best overall second tier AR is because they have a fast fire rate, so they're great for spraying structures, and they pretty much have the same damage as the suppressed scars while having considerably less bloom. So now, taking rarity into account, here's my full rankings of the second tier of ARs from best to worst. Mythic heavy AR, gold heavy AR, blue regular AR, purple heavy AR, gold silent scar, green regular AR, blue heavy AR, purple silent scar, white regular AR, green heavy AR, blue silent scar, and white heavy AR. Obviously, a lot of those are incredibly close, but I believe that's a pretty solid list. And now let's just quickly go through the top tier ARs, which I believe everybody will agree are the Scars and the AUGs, so here's how I'd rank them from best to worst. Mythic Scar, Gold AUG, Purple AUG, Gold Scar, Purple Scar. I think the Mythic Scar is the clear-cut number one, but then the regular Scars versus Augs kinda come down to preference. As a Legacy player, I prefer the Augs, but I would guess most linear players would prefer Scars, and honestly, they're both so good that there's really no wrong answer there. Now, let's move on to the SMGs, which in my opinion are a little easier to rank than the ARs. So one important thing that you need to realize here that I honestly don't think many people know about is that much like the Silent Scars, the suppressed SMGs were also really heavily nerfed when they were unvaulted at the beginning of the season. Last time the suppressed were in the game, they were absolutely dominant, but now that's far from the case. To give you a point of reference, each version of the suppressed SMG does about 3 more damage per shot than the regular SMGs. However, it also fires at a much slower rate, to be exact 7.8 shots per second compared to 12. And I think this is summarized really well in the DPS of both weapons. The blue suppressed deals a maximum of 171 base damage per second, while the blue regular SMG deals 228. Because of that, I would take any other SMG over any of the 3 rarities of the suppressed. Next up is the Tactical Assault Rifle, which even though it has AR in its name, is technically an SMG according to the database, so I guess it belongs here. I have a feeling a lot of you guys don't even realize this weapon's in the game, but it is even though it's incredibly rare. It's one of those weapons that can only be acquired in very specific parts of the map, so don't expect to see it a lot. The stats of this weapon are decent, but since it's a mix between an AR and SMG, it doesn't really fit the meta role of an SMG right now, which is basically barrel stuffing people at point blank range. Next up, we have the Rapid Fire SMG. Fits the meta really well since it has a super high rate of fire, but its bloom can get really annoying really quickly, it has absolutely no range, and probably the biggest problem with the weapon is that it only has an 18-shot clip size. It definitely isn't horrible, but it's not really super great either. Next up is all 3 rarities of the regular SMG. Pretty simple here, high rate of fire, solid damage per shot, nice clip size, and it fits the controller playstyle perfectly. And finally, the best SMG by a long shot is the Drum Gun. Don't really need to say much here, it has the highest DPS of any SMG, the largest clip size, is actually usable at medium range, and it's a weapon that's super easy to abuse aim assist with on both linear and legacy. So the final rankings here from best to worst is Mythic Drum Gun, all 3 rarities of the regular SMG, the Rapid Fire SMG, the TAC AR, and then all 3 rarities of the suppressed SMG. Now, with shotguns, nothing's actually changed in Chapter 2 Season 2 so far, so this'll just be a quick repeat of what I've said before. Basically, the lower rarities of the TAC are better than the lower rarities of the pump for controller players. However, purple and gold pumps are probably slightly better than purple and gold TACs in my opinion. But that's kind of like the Scars versus Augs debate where it really just comes down to preference, so I'd go something like gold pump, gold TAC, purple pump, purple TAC, blue TAC, green TAC, blue pump, white TAC, green pump, white pump. And finally, I just want to quickly mention the other 3 weapons that I think are viable to use an inventory spot on in this meta. The RPGs, the heavy snipers, and the miniguns. Not too much to say here about RPGs, they'll always be dominant in Fortnite, and this season is no different. The only difference is that they're a little less common now since the lower rarity versions were removed, and now we only have purple and gold. The heavy sniper is by far the best sniper in Fortnite history. Not only does it one-shot body shot anyone 150 health or under, but it's also a really powerful option for either jumping into boxes or replacing walls because it instantly one-shots any structure in the game. And the minigun probably isn't the greatest weapon in solos because you're really vulnerable when using it, but in a game mode like squads, having a dedicated minigunner can be super overpowered. tower. As long as that player stays alive, they can basically prevent players on the other team from building to high ground, and they can also apply tons of pressure on players boxing up. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. Are there any weapons in this video that you think I either underrated or overrated, and if so, let me know which one. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.